I'm Boris the Bee Guy from Forest Beehive Apiary in central Maine. In the United States, beekeeping is defined as agriculture. But should honeybees be treated like cattle? Modern, large-scale beekeeping often relies on artificial insemination to mass-produce queen bees. In contrast, in nature, honeybees reproduce by swarming. This swarm from our Forest Beehive Apiary wound up 60 feet in the air in a branch of a sugar maple tree. Swarming is when bees divide the colony, with roughly half the bees leaving the queen to look for the new home, and the other half remaining in the hive and raising a new queen. Later, the new queen is mated only with the strongest and fastest drones, capable of inseminating her during her fast mating flight. As a result, natural mating produces stronger, more resilient offspring compared to artificial insemination. This year, I put this mini hive on the same sugar maple tree, and another swarm moved in early July. By August, I rehoused this colony into their permanent new home, this stationary horizontal hive that's insulated with natural raw sheep wool, ideal for cold Maine winters. In Forest Beehive Apiary, our horizontal beehives are very different from the conventional vertical multi-box hives. Reverend Langstroth, who in 1850s invented conventional vertical multi-box beehive, was a congregational minister who advocated for a dominion of man over bees. Langstroth shared the prevailing philosophy of 1800s that man's mission was to control, dominate, and subjugate nature instead of living in harmony with it. Modern conventional beekeeping practices still rely on now mass-produced multi-box Langstroth-style vertical hives, prioritizing industrial-style efficiency over harmony with nature. They place significant stress on the bees and make them work harder. A common practice in conventional beekeeping with vertical hives is frequent, often biweekly and invasive hive inspections, placing a significant stress on the bees. Conventional vertical hives are very well suited for migratory beekeeping, a regrettable but widespread commercial practice of migrating honeybee colonies to multiple farm fields for pollination and high honey yield. Typically, hundreds of bee colonies are transported on trucks for days with little ventilation or water. Migratory beekeeping heavily stresses the bees, increases their pesticide exposure, and spreads pathogens and parasites across colonies and locations. In conventional commercial beekeeping, vertical beehives are typically arranged in high-density clusters next to farm fields to boost honey yields. In addition to high exposure to pesticides, with close proximity of beehives to each other, there's an increased sharing of pathogens and parasites between the bee colonies. To fight parasites, conventional beekeepers use various miticide treatments. Medicating the bees, however, is a double-edged sword. It can only work short-term, saving the weak colonies and propagating their unfit genetics. In the long term, any treatments harm the bees, contaminate their honey, disrupt the hive's natural balance, and ultimately result in weaker bees and treatment-resistant parasites, impacting the bee population and the health of the ecosystem. Another common yet unnatural practice in conventional beekeeping is feeding bees large quantities of sugar instead of relying exclusively on natural foraging. While this practice maximizes the harvest, it negatively impacts both the bees' health and the quality of the honey. Another common but unnatural practice in conventional beekeeping is clipping the queen bee's wings to prevent swarming. At our Forest Beehive Apiary, we don't treat our bees like cattle. Our queens are naturally mated, and we allow swarms to happen and offer them good housing. Our horizontal lane-style beehives allow us to practice beekeeping with minimal interference. And our bees are always free to fly and leave whenever they wish. We never treat or sugar feed our bees. The surrounding woodlands offer them abundant foraging from spring to fall. And in the fall, we harvest only surplus honey, leaving our bees plenty of their own honey to sustain them through our long New England winters. Thanks for watching. Please hit like and subscribe.